keep it on top.
Okay, so the ace is on top of the deck. I'm going to give it a few shuffles like this, and a quick cut, and the ace comes back to the top.
Okay, so now how does that happen?
Okay. This is why I'm telling you sloppy is okay,
Yeah.
because you're going to pull a card off center and use it as a bookmark. So from the back, you can see what my pinky is doing. You see how my pinky is contacting that top card? And then you just make it as sloppy as possible. And it's going to be hard to do from that angle, but I just push up and take over that break and pull that back on top, and that's what the card is. So I'll do it face up.
Okay, so you put it in the middle, and then you cut it.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
Okay.
There are other ways. Like I can,
So without cutting it, it's not going to work then?
no, not necessarily. No cut. And that's just a really simple. That was the first control I ever learned when doing that.
You can do almost anything you need to do with an overhand shuffle, including a complete full deck stack. It's not easy.
Okay.
That technique is not easy.
Show me that one more time with the ace face up.
Okay. Ace is on
Nice
top.
and slow.
All right.
Okay, and you're marking it with your pinky on the other side?
Yes, it's this card right here. I'm really exaggerating this. If you're doing this for other magicians, you want to get that break as small as possible.
Okay. So you basically just have the ace stick out a little bit?
It's not even the ace, it's the card above it that I'm using.
Card above it.
I'm using to mark. And then what I do is I push up like this. So I've formed a break here, and that the top card of that bottom packet is the ace. So if I just pull up and then cut, the ace comes back to the top. And it looks way better if you do it face down. I'll do a palm and then show the card, and then however I want to,
Yeah.
Or, because I've
was pretty
found
cool.
that by the
Okay,
time I have
explain.
that palm, as long as I'm
All right.
talking,
Go about
nobody's
halfway
paying
up.
attention.
Push the top card up, like so.
And I have fairly small.
So we're
hands,
changing to this card.
Right.
But I can still.
Then you grab the rest of this card
And it even.
with the bottom of your hand, pull the top
Fake
card
hands,
back.
I'm doing some stand-up stuff next week,
Unfortunately,
so I was
it's
trying to
just-
get my.
Yeah.
So I
Just
know I
bring
look
that
orange,
card
but
up.
Okay. So when you move your hand up and down, you're like palming it.
Yeah, you're doing a palm at the same
They're
time.
saying in this book, and it's so true. It's the attention that your brain gives to it. If you're not giving any attention to this hand, why would I have a card? Why would you even think about it?
That was pretty sweet.
There you go. Deck's back in order.
Yeah, I used to.
Okay, do that one more time.
Did some magic riffing with Reed McClintock
Go
5 or
ahead.
6 years ago.
Okay, now we're changing it to the two now, right? Okay.
I was showing him one routine I was working on.
So you
and
move that card up,
I kept
Yep.
like
and the card underneath it.
I kept
lower.
like I would like really like
Strangling.
I was doing something that it was like he's like no you're
Well, we're bringing that one
he
back.
says don't run if you're not being chased, which there's no heat
you go.
yet, so don't even worry about it, which is still something that
Okay, that was pretty cool.
when I'm
So we're turning one card into four here.
she saw shrieked, ran off, came back with another one, and he did it again.
And then nice and slow.
Apparently thought he was possessed by the devil.
You're grabbing the corners of the card with your thumb and forefinger as you split them apart.
Right.
just like that.
That's an interesting 4-ace
I
production.
think I can do that one.
That's a Lee Asher bit.
Okay, go for it. That was super cool. So, how is it done?
Well, you have to know how to do a one-handed fan first.
Okay, maybe that one's too advanced then.
Yeah.
Can you do it in like slow-mo and see if I can catch on? So you've got half the deck in one hand and the other half in the other hand. Okay. Break that down.
Why don't you work on well, let me teach you.
Yeah, give me one that I can
Okay,
actually
I'm
work
gonna
on.
teach you a trick. You can go home and you'll be able to do tonight for everyone.
Okay, perfect.
I am going to do a series of running cuts, okay? And I just want you to tell me to stop anytime. Okay?
Okay, so you're basically just cutting the deck over and over again.
Yeah,
Okay.
just running cuts.
Okay.
So tell me to stop anytime.
Okay. Stop.
Right there.
Okay.
An ace, that's what you cut to. Let's do it again. Just anytime. Just
Okay. Stop.
right there. Cut to another ace. That is
That's-
fantastic. Let's try it one more time. Let's see what we can get.
He's laughing because he knows what's going on.
This is beautifully done.
Just
Okay.
anytime.
All right, stop.
Right there.
Okay.
I kind of was in between. Do you want me to keep going or?
That's good.
That's good? Are you sure? Because you got another ace. Now, so far, this goes into miracle category. 3 aces in a row like that. Let's see if we can just, I mean, we know what we're going for here, right? So
Right.
Let's just see if we can do it together, okay? Just tell me to stop anytime.
Okay, stop.
Stop right there. Now, I swear to God, I don't want you to think I'm doing anything tricky. If you want me to do a couple more cuts, I will.
Oh, I know you're doing something tricky, but I'm not going to be able to figure it out. So, I did notice that when you were cutting the cards, it seems like the 4 of hearts was always on the bottom. Maybe just
Well,
a
that's a
coincidence.
good tip to remember, to not let you see the bottom of the deck.
I'm assuming that had something to do with it.
That does have something to do
Okay.
with it. You can do this trick tonight. Take the 4 aces, put them on top of the deck. All you are doing, and I guess I need to not flash the bottom card, is you're cutting the cards like this. So your first finger's there, the second finger's there. You're cutting the top into your hand. So that's where my aces are, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So all the aces are on the top right here.
All the aces
Okay.
are still on the top. They are going to always be on the top. Now, because I'm doing this fast, it looks like I'm taking off some portion of the deck, but I'm going to return it to the bottom of the deck. So I never change the order of the cards. They never get changed.
So basically what you're saying is the top cards are always the same.
Top 4 cards are always going to be the aces until I start putting them on the table. So all you have to do, so all of that making cards disappear, that's down the road. All you have to be able to do is cut the deck with your finger, shift it over to the left, put it in your hand, okay? So right now, they think you're doing something legitimate. And then you do that. But you don't want to do this. Okay? You don't want to like educate them on the trick. You just want to do it like it's just a casual thing. So anything like this that you learn to do, you're going to have to watch your hands when you're doing it. But when you're ready to perform is when you can be talking to somebody and just shuffling the deck. Those
Do
aces
that
are
nice and slow.
Okay, so you're holding the deck like this. Is that a biddle grip? I don't know. Yeah. Take your first finger and you just pull back a little bit of the deck.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Make sure you get more
Right.
than your
Because
4
you're only
cards.
concerned about the top 4 cards. Right.
Pivot that to the left. Take it in a regular dealer's position grip in the left hand. And then just very casually drop that on the bottom. That's
more
a
time.
trick you can
One
go
more
and learn
time.
tonight. the exposed, super exposed view.
I guess I don't know much about magic because it's.
But the
you'd
thing
still you'd still beat me with that trick.
But that's the thing. That's what most people don't understand. It's not the trick. It's the presentation.
Right.
I do Gemini twins for people at cocktail parties all the time, and it blows their mind. And
Okay, so go ahead and demonstrate the trick.
So we've got the two black cards and the red card, and you have to bet on the red. Where is the?
I would bet that it's this one.
And you would lose. And in fact, you can see I'm not even using a red card. So, ow! And I got you at the end there.
Will you switch the queen out? There was no queen?
No, there was a queen. I didn't switch the queen out. It's still there.
Oh, okay.
That's a magician's convincer. I wouldn't use that if I was actually
Okay, do that again.
pulling a con, because what. And
Okay, so the queen's in the middle, right?
queen is in the middle. I've got
Okay.
the black cards here, and you can do this. If people don't know what to look for, you can make it insanely simple and go like this and say, look, I'm going to show you. There's the black card. There is a black card. Where is the red card?
And you'd say here,
Yes, which of course is incorrect.
of course.
No, it's not there either. Y'all lose.
Okay. So, how is the trick done?
It's
I noticed that when you bent the corner of the card earlier, you were able to bend the corner of another card without anybody even seeing it.
so what you're doing is, and it's how you handle the cards. It's part of the reason why you want to put the bend in it, because it makes it easier to pick up.
Right.
Richard Turner does this, and he doesn't put in a pronounced bend. He just sort of bends them slightly, because he's got such a fine touch that he can do this when the cards are nearly flat. But you show the two black cards, you show the red card, and what you're basically doing is, because I'm holding two of the cards in one hand, is I make a
Right.
switch out while I'm making the flip.
And then I would assume that it's this one.
And you would think it was that one, because that would be logical, but what I'm doing is, while I'm making a throw, I am kicking this one over and letting it go.
Oh.
So that's like, so I know Ricky Jay did this bit. He does a bit where he said, when they for you can do it where there's three black cards, and that doesn't.
Wait a minute. Did you just show three black cards?
Yeah. Or you can do it where there's three queens, or you could do the effect where there's one black card and two red cards, or you can do it where there's one red card and two black cards.
But you're not actually switching the cards out. You're just palming the card in your hand to make it look.
I'm switching them in play is what I'm doing. So because I'm holding
Right. When
the
you pick
cards.
up, when you pick up two in one hand, you're actually hucking this one instead of this one.
Yeah.
That's the
So,
trick.
but the trick, if you're playing somebody who's wise, is you need to make sure that you're switching in actual throws before you start switching in hypes. I know what it is.
I don't. I have no freaking idea.
Your wife is following this.
Oh yeah, she's really good at
I'm the daughter
magic.
of a magician.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So I did not know that. That's why.
Yeah. She'll be much harder to fool than me.
I love magic. I
Okay,
think
so
it's great.
show the spot where you swap the cards. Try and show that in slow motion if you can. So you got the two cards in one hand, right?
I'll try it, but it's not going to.
And then you're
It's
basically,
just-
and now that's the black card here, right?
but it's, if you do it, smoothly enough, it looks like.
Right.
Which is how you
And of
get
course
the
that
whole-
is the trick.
There's two red cards, or they're both black.
Okay, so you basically get good enough with the trick that you can swap either of them, whichever one you like.
Yeah, you're able to, and you don't want to, when you're doing this, I have found you don't want to be too confusing.
Yeah, because then you'll lose track of where it's at, right?
No, they won't have an idea at all. And the trick is they need to know. So you want to be. That's why I generally
them
go
to feel
through.
Right, you're leading them to pick the wrong card,
If they
right?
don't feel confident, they're not going to bet.
Right.
Because if I could, like, honestly, just go like this, and like at that point, I don't even know where they are, but I don't.
Right.
And that's probably more like an actual gambling effect. But if
I just wanted to put a.
Okay, go for it. Okay.
honestly,
And then honestly, the queen would be here.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Now, here is the dishonest method.
Yeah, and I would assume the queen would be here again.
And you would be wrong.
Okay, so what you did was you swapped this card and this card
Yes.
when you picked them up.
The middle card, because so the way that I do this, if I'm doing this honestly, I pick up the middle card goes to the left card goes to the right, and then the center or the right card goes to the center.
Okay.
That's honest. Then what I do is I take, if I'm doing it dishonestly, the right card goes to the left, the left card goes to the right,
And that card goes in the middle, which in
yeah.
actuality is the queen.
Yeah, so in essence...
But then when you dropped it, they're going to think that the queen's over here when it's actually over here in the middle.
Yeah, and you can, like I said, if you're doing it as a magic trick, which you're way off from doing that. You can throw.
That's a fair statement,
you
sir.
You can do something by like throwing in the convincer to say like, look, I'm not cheating. Like we're, except that I am. I'm not going to go into the bent corner scam because that's.
Yeah, that's way past my grade right now.
I even.
Just that one swap is going to take me a little.
What do you want, the queen or the two?
Yeah, I will take the 2.
You take the 2. All right, take the 2.
Oh. Did you just swapped them when you?
Yeah, you go like this. But here's the thing, and this is what sells it, is you do it while you're going like this.
Right.
There is a philosophy, or it's not even a philosophy, an idea.
That is
in
an
magic
awesome trick.
That the big movement covers the small movement. So if you're doing something sneaky, you do something to cover.
That was badass.
It's one of the.
Okay, do that again, but do it in slow-mo just so that I can remember.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 2 cards,
2 cards. Yes.
and I would want the queen, and then as you lower your hand, you just
Lower my
swap
hand.
them.
All right. Okay. Probably did that too
Yeah.
fast, so I'll do it again. Go like this.
Yeah. That's cool. And then I take this one,
Yeah. Then you take that one.
and I poop-pooed it.
There's another principle
Okay,
that makes that.
that's
trick,
awesome.
Which is
Right?
one of the techniques you're going to learn if you get Railroad Card Magic is that Joker's no good. If you look at the bottom of the pack and memorize that card, you can pull that card off in lifting up the cards. So it's still there at the bottom. 10 of clubs. And I can do that all day long. And I'm horrible with cards, but I can do that
Okay.
all day long.
Let me get a different angle
All right.
to show how you're doing that.
So all you're doing is you're just pushing that bottom card upwards. It's called milking the deck.
You're just making sure that card stays on the bottom.
Stays on the bottom.
Essentially.
That's the only sleight of hand you need to know. We're done with that part. Okay. So they pick a card, and they really can pick any card. And you know what? I have no idea what their card is, but you know what I do know? I know what
how to move it
this
to the bottom.
No, I know what this card is. So now, and this, I don't even think this is a sleight. I mean, this is really just shuffling the deck. This is called the Hindu shuffle. Now you're seeing me put cards into my hand, which looks awfully random, right?
Yeah.
Except for the fact that I still have this 10 of clubs on the bottom. So when you put your card on my random cards that I'm letting you select, anytime you want, as soon as you do,
You're going to know that it's right next to the...
It's right next to it.
To the
And in
10 of
fact, because I have
So as
made
soon
this
as you
mistake
spread it out on the
before,
table, you already
it's the
knew...
one underneath.
So it would be the 3. No, the 7,
It's
right?
the 7. So it's the one underneath because it went on top.
Right.
I have made that mistake. It's a stupid mistake, but it's a very makeable mistake. And then the rest is just
Showmanship.
acting.
Yeah.
And the other subtlety that I do is that when I pick up your card, because I now know what your card is, I also pick up one to the right. I turn it over, and as I'm gathering up the rest of the deck, I'm just getting that card off at the bottom. Because I want your card, I want the revelation of your card to still be inexplicable because there was a card underneath it, but now there's not a card underneath it. So it's a double impact because when you see me put it away, it's kind of in the middle of the deck.
Yeah,
That's what I want you to
It's not
think.
on the end because otherwise you're like, oh, it's on the end, he knows, or something like that. But if you have it
Okay.
separated,
And then I just do the spread. I bring out one card so that you're looking at one card and you're thinking, this guy is an idiot. This guy is not going to get my card because my card's over here. And I do the...
I thought that maybe you like swapped them or something and I didn't see it.
I've seen that trick too. That's a good trick. But it's not a beginner trick. So, I mean, when I said, is your card in this packet the first time? And you said no, I knew your card wasn't in that packet. But I want to give you the line, oh, see, you gave it away. Don't tell me, because when I do pick up your card,
you don't want them.
I don't want you to go, no, that's my card. So I'm prepping you to give me the answers that I want.
Right.
And then when I mean, I have had people like jump away from tables, and if you do that trick correctly.
Okay, so let's do that slowly from the beginning and just show me exactly
Well, there's
how
nothing
it's done.
slow to do. I mean,
So you're
it's
basically just shuffling the cards.
you're shuffling.
Yeah, it's the rest of it is presentation.
Right. And at this point, you're already wanting to know which card is on the bottom.
I already know which card is on the bottom. I don't start shuffling it until I know which card
The
is
card on the bottom is
10 of hearts.
the 10 of hearts. And when you shuffle
But I
them,
had known that for 10 minutes while we were talking about other stuff.
right.
I don't want to glimpse, oh, the 10 of hearts, great. I
Right.
don't want to do that in front of somebody.
And then when you shuffle them, you're just ensuring that the 10 of hearts stays on the bottom.
I mean, you can even
Correct.
just lift up half the pack, shuffle those off. Nobody's going to question that. Just pick up half the pack and shuffle those off, and it's still there. Or you can milk the deck. I mean, that's what I do. I think it's better, but it doesn't matter. So, you picked a card,
So
Hindu
the card is the 6 of clubs.
right? Hindu shuffle. Put it in anywhere you want. Just tell me to stop anytime.
Okay. Now when you're shuffling it there,
I'm just taking
the 10 of hearts is right here,
10 of
right?
hearts is always there. I'm just taking cards off the top with my hands. Anytime you want. Anytime before we get to the end of the
So then
deck.
we put the card in there, and the 10 of hearts is here.
10 of hearts is there.
Okay.
And
And
then
then you turn it over.
it's all done. That was
Right.
your card. But,
So when it's spread out
but
on the table,
here's a really bad magic trick. Was that your card?
Yeah, that's not very.
It's not a story at that point. It's just
So you can do it pretty much any way that you want. You can do a coin. You can, do other
Yeah.
things
You don't
like
have to do-
I can read your mind. I don't think your cards are over here. Stuff like that. You can use crystals. Anything.
So I have done this trick
Okay.
as a
we got the gist of that one.
kind of a cycle. Yes, it's locked. locked around these two fingers, and if I snap my fingers, it jumps.
That's pretty sweet.
So
Have you ever done it where you take a second rubber band and wrap it around the top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's the convincer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrap it around your first two
So
fingers.
then when I'm going like this is what it looks like from the back. And when I straighten my fingers, the rubber band will pop off of the first two and hook on to these. It just happens so fast. That's
I don't suppose you can show that slowly, can you? Because the rubber band just kind of...
yeah, it's gonna snap off. I'm not even just gonna do it as a trick. I'm just gonna show you the move. Have you ever seen the movie The Sting?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yeah.
Okay, this is what they do on the train scene. Oops. I think I still got it though. I think I still got it.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh, I lost it. I totally lost it. I got too fancy and I couldn't. Alright, I'll try that cut again. Get it? Yeah.
Okay, that was pretty cool. So you're basically ensuring that the card stays on top.
The card stays on the top until I want to deal it to myself. So that's why, if you're playing Chicago.
Do a deal like that in slow-mo.
All right.
With the card turned up.
With the card turned up. Okay.
Now that's like the second card that you're taking off of there, or how are you getting that?
I am pulling the first card. I'm pushing the first card off, and I'm exposing the corner. This is called the brief in gamblers' parlance.
Okay.
And I am hitting that brief, and I am pulling the second card out. That's how that goes.
Okay, so you're using your thumb on this hand to basically move this
I am
card
moving-
slightly,
yeah.
and then
like
using this.
I would be because if you were dealing, you would be pushing off cards like that, So if I'm dealing seconds, I would just be doing the same thing. I'm just
By doing that, you basically ensure that ace goes wherever you want it to go.
like,
Now, what about all that crazy shuffling you just got done doing? And keeping the ace on the top.
this. Okay, these are false cuts. This is called up the ladder. If I can get it done. An up the ladder false cut. There's the flying three-way false cut. There's an in the hands false cut.
It's still on the top. Okay, how the heck did you do that?
Okay, up the ladder is I cut off about 3/4 of the deck, and I start cutting off like this, but I leave it jogged over, and then I go to make a cut again, and I grab where the jog is at, and I just put it on top. Or I can hold a break. Hold a break as well. I can't do if I'm doing it fast. I can't really do a small break, so I usually end up holding a bigger break. So I don't really like doing that. This one is a lot easier to do, and this is based off that principle of the swing cut that Spencer showed you. That one is just cut off like this. and I cut off another packet. That was the bottom packet. This is the middle packet. That's the top. So if you look at it, what I'm
Okay, so
doing,
you're separating it into
I'm-
3 sections, and you're
then putting
ensuring.
it back exactly the exact
Yeah,
same way.
but it's done so quickly that nobody's going to follow that.
Yeah. Just go like this, and you're making eye contact and talking with people. And then sometimes I'll just do another swing to throw it off like that.
That is mad crazy.
And then at that point, you can, deal out. So if I'm doing a trick, I'm like this and say.
And you're doing that sneaky deal where
Tell me
the
when to
top
stop.
card always the same, right?
Yeah, stop. Stop.
That's pretty cool. And they do that. They do that basically the same thing that you just did in the Sting, don't they? Where he's doing all that fancy stuff, and
I
the card
did-
keeps coming up on the top.
I did I did pretty much the exact sequence of events where he does 3 seconds, flashes the top card, deals 3 seconds, flashes the top card, he assembles the deck, shows the top card, the ladder cut, flying 3-way up the ladder cut.
That's ridiculous.
Let's see what else. What other-
Do that with the card turned over.
This is the second, or all the whole sequence. Okay. So.
Yeah. Nice and slow. You're basically marking, every time you split it, you're basically marking it with your finger so you know where it's at, right?
I mean, you can do it with a card as well. Like this is an interesting way of doing it. If let's just say that
Keep that card turned up.
If this is the selection or something, I can have them put it back on here and then I go like this. And it's lost. And I'll tell you what, just to make sure that it's absolutely lost, I am going to shuffle. Like that. So with that, what I'm doing is I'm cutting over. This is the selection, and I'm making sure that the cards hit here, and they'll automatically jog out. So it's easy for me. I could even just like cut right to that card then.
Wow.
So if I was, you can have somebody select a card, like select a card. You got it?
Yep.
All right. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there. Put it back on top, just like that. Lost in the deck.